If you're a frequent PNW Haunts and Homicides listener, you probably already know we're Birdie ambassadors.
We wanted to take a quick moment to tell you a little bit more about this awesome product.
Birdie is the modern personal safety alarm made for women by women.
In a situation where you feel threatened or unsafe, you can simply activate Birdie's loud siren and flashing light to create a diversion.
Birdie is perfect to carry anytime because the device is lightweight and comes in a variety of colors.
So important. Use our ambassador link and coupon code PNW Haunts and Homicides to receive 10% off your purchase. Like our social media handles, the coupon code is all spelled out, no special characters.
You can find the link and promo code in our show notes or PNW Haunts and Homicides link tree.
Have a safe-ass day! As indie podcasters, we love to show our support of other awesome shows, so stay tuned for the promo we've got to share with you this week.
Let's show them some love. You can find their info in our show notes.
Ghost stories are always scarier when they're told by the very people who experienced them. Hi, I'm Becky.
And I'm Diana.
And we're the hosts of the Homespun Haints podcast.
We talk to people just like you who have come face to face with ghosts, demons, haints, and other strange paranormal phenomena. All of it makes for a chilling good time.
So grab yourself a sweet tea, turn off the lights, and listen to some eerie, true ghost stories on Homespun Haints, wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm not scared. Are you?
You guys, we're back!
And don't worry, we did get more wine.
Well, of course.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Cassie.
Hi, Alicia and Sierra.
Hi.
Hi.
We have guests on today from Twisted and Uncorked.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yes, you
Yes.
Did I say uncorked weird?
did. No. It's a mouthful on its own, but
I'm just like shocked I didn't say uncocked on accident.
Oh, boy.
our spin-off podcast soon to come at your ears.
Ooh.
No pun intended.
Was that the OnlyFans you were talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, hello, creepy people. This is PNW Haunts and Homicides. I remembered before I forgot.
Hey, look at that.
And we obviously have some guests today. Do you guys want to tell us about your pod?
Yeah. So Sierra and I host Twisted and Uncorked / Uncocked, a podcast that covers all twisted topics from conspiracies to cults, disappearances, paranormal. We do all of that over a glass of wine and sangria. We love fun facts, as you guys will hear when you go and check out their story on our feed, and learning about different times in history. Since this is a holiday special, we thought that it would be cool to dive into two beloved Christmas stories, A Christmas Carol and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So,
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited.
but yes, we are so happy to be here.
Yes, definitely.
Yay.
Do we just keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you guys ready to hear about our beloved Christmas stories?
Yes.
Okay,
I hope
awesome.
so.
We are going to kick it off with A Christmas Carol. Today, Yule or Yuletide are mostly synonymous with the term Christmas, but the meaning behind Yule is quite different from that of the Christian holiday. The word Yule comes from the Old English Jul and a similar word in Old Norse, Yule. Both of these words referred to a midwinter festival centered around the winter solstice. After the solstice, which is the shortest day of the year, the days once again begin to grow longer, so it's thought that Yule was a celebration of the reappearance of the sun. It's the birth of the sun, S-U-N, not the sun, S-O-N, like Christians think.
Okay, glad you clarified.
I love that.
Yes. During the winter solstice, it was tradition to sit around the fire built to ward off the darkness. One of the fires, obviously, comes from the Yule log. Typically, the Yule log would be decorated with symbolic herbs, plants, flowers, or candles, but really you can decorate it with whatever you would like. It's all about the intentions that you put into it, after all.
And you guys in your witchy nature, we're sure you already know this.
I got some cinnamon pine cones last year and put them on the log, and I was like, that's
Oh,
my Yule log.
nice.
Love
I
that.
love it.
Yeah. I have, so for my, usually, you know, you want to do, or I want to do a red, a green, and a white candle, but I only had
yeah.
white. And then I bought some red and green birthday candles and just melted them over my white candle to make it
perfect.
turn colors.
Cute. I love that.
So crafty.
Did you get you got a red candle in your advent calendar, so there you
Yeah,
go.
but my candles are the really tall stick candles because they're
true,
sticking
true,
in
true.
there.
True.
Yeah.
I got her a witchy advent calendar for Christmas, so
Oh, how
Yeah.
cute.
Love that.
In the 1800s England, the Yule log would burn in the home's hearth. The 1840s in England were deemed the Hungry 40s because of the rising poverty in the city,
Aw.
Oh no.
right? Children even began working so that they could help their families, and it was popular to hire those who were rich because they were given the lowest wages.
which like I could not hire a child. I would be like, I'm sorry, please just take all of these food and clothes and go back to your
Yeah.
home.
Oh.
Old timey.
I feel like that's the reason people had kids anyway, though. There were no child labor laws.
Yeah,
That's true.
I had children, 8 or 9 of them, because I didn't want to work anymore. These little assholes are going to bring home the money.
They're young and spry.
People were desperate to seek comfort and help pass the time during what felt like the longest, coldest, and darkest time of the year. I mean, it didn't just feel like it. It was literally the long, dark times of the year. As it turns out, humans haven't changed much biologically, and a person's physical reaction to a harmless scare, like a ghost story, elevated the heart rate. Endorphin rushes caused by adrenaline, and that is craved.
Oh my goodness.
The reaction, I mean, endorphins, yes. Endorphins, adrenaline, everybody loves it. It's just where you get it from.
Some of us go for
People
a
choose
run,
differently.
Some
Right.
of us read a ghost story.
Yeah. Mhm, mhm. The reaction to hearing a ghost story around the burning Yule fire became a tradition for this reason. It also gave people something to do in the days before electricity. Now we have podcasts.
Yes, you're welcome.
Exactly.
Here to provide those old timey ghost stories.
Before long, the rage of supernatural sagas started to spread from the oral kind around the fire to the printed kind. This gave Victorians the opportunity to commercialize and commodify the ghost stories that they had been telling and turning them into a version that they could sell.
All about that money.
Of course. This would in turn create more jobs and hopefully bring a little bit of upward momentum in the drive to get out of poverty. Someone's going to write all this up. Typewriter? Typewriters were definitely invented. Yeah, type it up.
Typewriter.
But don't fuck it up.
Right, you got to start all over. The popularity of Victorian Christmas ghost stories would continue. They were available to read everywhere, from cheap publications to expensive Christmas annuals that the rich would show off on their coffee tables.
The original coffee table book.
Look, my annual.
A Christmas Carol, published by Charles Dickens on December 19th, 1843,
So just a little
is
bit
remembered for introducing us to Ebenezer Scrooge. Also,
the
the Three
best.
Ghosts of Christmas, Tiny Tim, and a full cast of memorable characters.
Oh boy.
Even though Charles Dickens spent a mere few months writing it, it had been a holiday staple for nearly 2 centuries, inspiring adaptations for stage and screen.
And one version that I really liked in particular, especially as a kid, was the Mickey Mouse version. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
That's so cute.
And I'm pretty sure my aunt still has it on VHS from when I used to watch it as a kid. And I think you can watch it on Disney Plus. I did not
Oh
corroborate.
yeah, definitely.
I
You
think
can.
it's called A Christmas Story on Disney Plus, like the Mickey Mouse version. But yeah,
Aw.
definitely go and check it out if you haven't.
That is so cute.
I like the one with Matthew McConaughey where it's girlfriends.
Oh,
yeah.
Ghost of
The
Girlfriend's
Past.
Past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Classic.
I love that they've made it like unique in every adaptation.
Yeah.
But you know, the original
Yeah.
came from 1843.
Right.
What the hell?
My
Yeah.
favorite's definitely Scrooged, and everyone thinks I'm crazy, but I love that
No.
movie.
That's a good movie.
It's so good.
Do you have a favorite, Caitlin?
I don't. I think probably the Ghost of Girlfriend's Past. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I gotta go with that.
It's a good one.
I love a rom-com.
Who doesn't?
We've talked
Come
about it on our
on.
show. Like, where did rom-coms go? Bring
Yeah,
them
nobody
back,
does
okay?
rom-coms anymore.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
Netflix is trying.
Let me
true.
just say, speaking of rom-coms and Netflix, have you guys seen Dash and Lily?
No.
No.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
I think so.
It's a series. It's a Christmas series. It's like 8 episodes long. It came out in 2020. Jonas Brothers are in it. Don't know how
Oh.
I haven't seen it until this year.
Wow.
I
Sorry,
watched
what
it.
is it called? I'm gonna go watch it right
Dash
now. While you
and
guys
Lily.
finish this up. No.
I am not
Bye.
kidding you. I watched it one day, the whole thing, the whole 8 episodes, all in one
Oh my
day.
gosh.
And then the next day, I told my husband, hey, we should watch this together. And we watched the whole thing again
Aw.
because I liked it that much. And I just wanted him
Did
to
you
see
tell
it.
him the Jonas Brothers were in it?
No.
Because I literally
I
tried
didn't.
to get Kevin to go to Vegas with me in February, and he's like, no.
No, I did not tell him. They're not in it until the very last episode. And when we got to the last episode, he was like, oh my gosh, really? And I was like, that's the only reason I watched this. And he's like, did you already watch the whole thing? And I was like,
It's on my list.
yeah, I did. I
Oh
just
my
wanted you to
gosh.
watch it.
Okay, everyone
Somewhere.
at it.
It's so good.
Somewhere my boyfriend's ears are burning, and he's like, "What is she
Does your
plotting?"
boyfriend like the Jonas Brothers? Because if so, you have a keeper.
No, but somewhere he knows that we're talking about something he's about to be sat down to watch.
Oh, yeah. It's so good. Oh,
Okay,
And it's
we
about
will all
books.
watch it, and we will
everyone
report
watch
back.
it. I'll watch it again, too.
That'll be our bonus for January talking about this.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, back to the story. A Christmas Carol became particularly popular as well because of the time it was released in. People found it to be relatable. Ghost stories were passed around a fire during this time of year, like we just said earlier, and this book contained just that. And it sold out by Christmas Eve. Dickens was able to reestablish Christmas as a season of goodwill to all men in the hearts and minds of the people. A Christmas Carol inspired people to behave better towards one another. It is theorized that Ebenezer Scrooge was based off of a real man. The most likely candidate is an 18th century British politician named John Elwes, who was notorious for his penny pinching. Penny
Tisk,
pinching.
tisk.
I said penny pinching. I put the I in the E's. Anyway, you know what I meant.
Love it.
John Elwes was born in 1714 and inherited his first fortune, worth about $10 million today,
Cassie's
At
face,
just-
like, that's a time.
at just 4 years old. He had $10 million
Wow.
when his father passed away.
Sir,
Wow.
But
you looking
if
for a wife? I mean,
yes, 4-year-old, are you? But if, as they say, a penny saved is a penny earned, John Elwes was more like a billionaire. At a young age, John learned much of his frugal mindset from his uncle, though his mother, who reportedly starved to death because she refused to buy food despite being rich, probably played a role as well.
What?
That is just crazy to me.
This takes frugality to a whole new level.
Yeah, I'm not going to claim that I'm rich by any means, but I'm about to starve to death because I'm going to refuse to buy food. These prices are so bad. I can't get over it. I'm so
I read an
tired.
article that like 10% of Canadians are skipping meals to save money. It's ridiculous.
I read an article that said if every block in America had a house that owned 2 chickens, no one would have to buy eggs ever. There would be enough eggs from those 2 chickens per block for everyone. But right now, if you go to the grocery store, a carton of eggs is $4.
I think this is your sign, Sierra, to finally get your chickens.
Get the chickens.
My HOA would not allow it.
They don't need to know.
I want chickens so bad.
How would they know?
I posted a video the other day of chickens wearing pants. Just disguise them. It's fine.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
It worked for Scooby-Doo.
It was really funny. I'll post it. I'll send it to you guys. It made me laugh really hard.
I have
I'm
a
like,
friend
why
who
is
has a
this chicken
couple of
wearing pants?
chickens, so I'm going to start getting eggs from her.
There you go.
They're the best eggs you'll ever have. Somebody
so
that
I've
grew up on
had
a
them
farm.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Tennessee,
can't beat
everybody had chickens.
What?
Yeah, everybody has chickens in Tennessee, except for me because I lived in an apartment. But I was about to get chickens in the apartment.
This is your sign, Sierra. Get the chickens.
I can't. They're going to kick me out.
You have a yard
HOA.
now.
Yes, but I
Oh.
also have an HOA.
Well, put pants on them. It's fine.
You got to read the fine print. There's a loophole somewhere.
They're your
Oh.
emotional support chickens.
John Elwes and his uncle would sit around complaining about the way other people wasted money while sharing a single glass of wine between them.
As I'm sitting here with a half liter, it's fine.
It's not enough wine. John would always go to bed as soon as the sun set, so he wouldn't have to pay for candles.
Oh,
He
boy.
ate roadkill and would eat moldy
No!
and rotting food rather than letting it go to waste.
I mean, I kind of respect that because people are so wasteful, but no.
No.
Don't
yeah,
let it go
this is
bad.
not waste. This is trash
Yeah.
on the
This is
side of the
compost
road.
that you should use
Yeah.
to plant your own garden.
Yeah.
At this
Use
point.
it for something other than putting inside of you.
Oh.
I can smell it from here. I'm upset.
Oh.
He wore ragged clothes, including a wig he found in a bush, and strangers often assumed he was a homeless beggar and would drop pennies in his hand.
Oh,
my
boy.
gosh, he wears a bush wig.
A bush wig!
The name of this episode. Jesus Christ.
John would walk in the rain rather than paying for a coach, and then he would sit around in his wet clothes rather than building a fire to dry them. His
Oh,
roof
boy.
leaked, and his lavish home fell to ruins around him up until he died in 1789. He was
Good
known to get
riddance.
right. He was known to get mad at birds who stole hay from his fields to build their nests. It honestly was a
Sir.
compulsion to save as much as possible.
You can't take it with you, man.
Exactly. Like, for what? For
And
what?
also, the birds are just doing their thing, okay?
They're being just as frugal as you. You found a bush and a wig. Why can't they find a hay in your field?
Did you see?
A bush
You
and
found
a
a
wig.
bush and a wig.
Yeah.
Yep, I did.
And a hay in your field. I love it.
A wig in your bush. A wig in a bush. Your wig in a bush. Oh my goodness.
Cats and wigs.
Exactly.
John ran for Parliament and served 3 terms. Who the fuck voted for him? He was technically a member of the Whig Party.
No pun intended.
According to Wikipedia, the Whigs were a political faction and then a political party in the parliaments of England, Scotland, Ireland, Great Britain, and the United Kingdom. John would travel to Parliament via the long route to avoid toll roads, and he would ride his underfed horse to work, stopping
Rude.
along the way to eat a hard-boiled egg he kept in his pocket.
It doesn't get squished.
It was
Very
the
hard-boiled.
1700s.
Okay.
Just. Ugh.
Hopefully it was
Everybody smelled, so I don't think they noticed
And he
the
was wearing
hard-boiled egg
his
smell.
bush wig, so it's like,
They
but I
pooped
also,
in the road, you know? It's fine.
I really hope that he shared part of that hard-boiled egg with his horse, though. I doubt it.
No, he's just standing
The
there
horse
looking at him.
can have its own food.
Yeah, but he wasn't feeding the horse.
Yeah.
So sad.
You halvesies?
After a total of 12 years in Parliament, he decided to retire rather than continuing to spend money in his elections. The Scrooge comparisons start to fall apart, though, once you get past extreme personal frugality. When it came to other people in his life, John Elwes could be extremely generous with his money.
Interesting.
When his friends experienced financial straits, he would assist them with whatever they needed.
Aww.
Furthermore, while he would lend money freely, he was too polite to ever ask his friends to pay him back.
Well, that sounds real dumb.
Yeah, that
You gotta
sounds
have
like my
balance.
husband.
You gotta have boundaries. It does sound like Jesse. Minus the bushwig, though. because
Minus
he is
the bush
a
wig.
barber.
Well,
and
then
I
never
don't
mind.
think
I
he
want
would.
nothing to do with that one.
What about the pocket boiled egg?
Pocket eggs, maybe. Maybe. He does love an egg in his spaghetti.
What?
It's a
He's
Sicilian thing.
Sicilian.
I don't know.
What? Interesting.
It's actually really good.
I tried it recently.
Like a,
No,
a, a
I-
cooked egg? Or
Hard-boiled
like a
egg.
cooked hard-boiled egg
It
on top of your
soaks
spaghetti.
in the
with
spaghetti
your-
sauce.
Yeah, it's actually
Like
not
a
I
bad.
need an
meatball.
I did
egg
try it.
anyway.
Yeah, eggs are really good. I need
Like a
some fucking
meatball.
chickens.
That's a good way of putting it. Instead of meatballs, give a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah. So, since all of this has been about the history of telling ghost stories around Christmas and A Christmas Carol, here is the abridged version for those who may be unfamiliar. Ebenezer Scrooge sits in his counting house on a frigid Christmas Eve. His clerk, Bob Cratchit, shivers in the anteroom. What is an anteroom?
I don't know.
Okay, we're quoting right now.
Somebody tell me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sits in the anteroom because Scrooge refuses to spend money on heating coals for a fire.
It was the
Scrooge's-
1700s, okay?
Right. Scrooge's nephew, Fred, pays his uncle a visit and invites him to his annual Christmas party. Two portly gentlemen also drop by and ask Scrooge for a contribution to their charity. Scrooge reacts to the holiday visitors with bitterness and venom, spitting out an angry bah humbug in response to his nephew's Merry Christmas. Later that evening, after returning to his dark, cold apartment, Scrooge receives a chilling visitation from the ghost of his dead partner, Jacob Marley. Partner as in friend, not as in husband.
Yes.
Right.
This is the 1700s.
Yes.
Played by
If you say so.
played by Goofy in the Mickey Mouse version.
Oh my gosh.
It was so fucking good, okay? My childhood is screaming. And I actually have A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens.
The book?
It's like a reprinted version to
Yeah.
no degree, but yes. Speaking of us being book lovers.
Right. Marley, looking haggard, relates his unfortunate story. A punishment for his greedy and self-serving life, his spirit has been condemned to wander the earth, weighted down with heavy chains.
No thanks.
It is Jacob's hope to save Scrooge from sharing the same fate. He informs Scrooge that the three spirits will visit him during each of the next 3 nights. Following the visit, Scrooge remains in disbelief and is able to get sleep. And is unable to get sleep? I don't know. Sometimes when
I
you
did
quote
not
things,
write
people
this.
write it
I'm
wrong.
so sorry.
It's okay. He wakes moments before the arrival of the ghost of Christmas past, a strange childlike phenomenon with a brightly glowing head. The spirit escorts Scrooge on a journey into the past previous Christmases from his earlier years. Invisible to those he watches, Scrooge revisits his childhood school days, his apprenticeship with a jolly merchant named Fezziwig, and his engagement to Belle, a woman who leaves Scrooge because his lust for money eclipses his ability to love her. Scrooge, deeply
Rude.
moved, sheds tears of regret before the phantom returns him to his bed. The ghost of Christmas present, a majestic giant clad in a green fur robe, takes Scrooge through London
Rules.
to unveil Christmas as it will happen that year. Scrooge watches the large, bustling Cratchit family prepare a miniature feast in its meager home. He discovers Bob Cratchit's crippled son, Tiny Tim, a courageous boy whose kindness and humanity warms Scrooge's heart. Spoilers, by the way. Scrooge is then transported to his nephew's to witness the Christmas party. Scrooge finds the jovial gathering delightful and pleads with the spirit to stay until the very end of the festivities. As the day passes, the spirit ages, becoming noticeably older. Toward the end of the day, he shows Scrooge 2 starved children, Ignorance and Want, living under his coat.
Oh no.
He vanishes
creepy.
instantly. I know, right? The metaphors. He vanishes instantly as Scrooge notices a dark hooded figure coming towards him. The ghost of Christmas Yet. Nope, that's
Also
not
known as the
the whole
Ghost
thing.
of Christmas Future.
right. It's the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Leads Scrooge.
I like that. It sounded old timey. Christmas
Right?
yet.
Yeah, I needed to finish the
Interpret
sentence.
this however you will.
The ghost of Christmas Yet to Come leads Scrooge through a sequence of mysterious senses relating to an unnamed man's recent death. Scrooge sees businessmen discussing the dead man's riches, some vagabonds trying to trading his personal effects for cash, and a poor couple expressing relief at the death of their unforgiving creditor. Scrooge, anxious to learn the lesson of his latest visitor, begs to know the name of the dead man. After pleading with the ghost, Scrooge finds himself in a churchyard, spirit pointing to a grave. Scrooge looks at the headstone and is shocked to read his own name.
Gasp.
I
He
mean, I know I
desperately-
don't suck, but I kind of want to know what people are going to do with my shit after it.
That's the thing.
what the
You
will
don't
is
need
for.
shit. That's the whole point. Shit is not needed.
What about my crystals?
But I mean, like, my beloved Bob's Burgers tarot deck. Like, what is going to become of that when I
Right.
pass?
The important things.
Maybe it'll go in a
PNW
it'll go in a
Haunted
museum,
I'm
a
going to leave
twisted
it
and
to...
uncorked museum.
I'm going to leave it to Caitlin and Cassie.
Excellent. We'd be honored.
Scrooge desperately implores the spirit to alter his fate, promising to renounce his insensitive, greedy ways and honor Christmas with all his heart. Whoosh! He suddenly finds himself safely tucked in his bed. Overwhelmed with joy by the chance to redeem himself and grateful that he has been returned to Christmas Day, Scrooge rushes out onto the street, hoping to share his newfound Christmas spirit. He sends a giant Christmas turkey to the Cratchit house and attends Fred's party, to the stifled surprise of other guests. As the years go by, he holds true to his promise and honors Christmas with all his heart. He treats Tiny Tim as if he were his own child, provides lavish gifts for the poor, and treats his fellow human beings with kindness, generosity, and warmth. And that is the entire book, so no need to read it.
Perfect.
Also, for ghosts of girlfriends past, think the same things, except instead of money, the guy's a douchebag. And in the end, he gets the girl. So
Aw.
Pretty much sums it up.
No notes.
moral of the story is don't be a douchebag. And
In
take your stuff with
terms
you when you
of
go.
lovers or Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to all a good night. No.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we also had a little bit on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes.
The
let's talk about
story
that one.
began in 1939 with a Jewish Chicago copywriter named Robert May. Robert worked in the ad department of Montgomery Ward, a department store chain. I don't know if that's still a thing in the U.S. Did not look it up.
Montgomery Ward.
No.
It was second to Sears at its time, I learned in my notes. But I know Sears still exists, I think.
Barely.
We're not sure.
It's a dying chain.
Yeah.
But every year, the store would purchase and give away Christmas coloring books to families that visited the stores. On this year in particular, they decided to create their own. They gave the task of writing the story to Robert with only one rule, that it needed to be about an animal.
Why? Was Montgomery Ward selling animals?
No, but I don't know, okay?
People love the animals.
But the
Because animals are beloved to children. It makes sense. Those are the people that are coloring it. Unless you're me and you have a lot of coloring books. It's fine. Later that same year, Robert's wife developed cancer and died only a few months later. This left Robert to raise their young daughter, Barbara, all by himself.
Oh.
I know, right? His boss suggested that he quit working on the coloring book and turn in whatever he had done so far so that he was able to focus on his family. Robert refused to leave the job undone, though, and the story itself held a special place in his heart.
Can you imagine the days when your entire job was to create a coloring book story?
No, that's also my life goal.
Let me,
man.
right? You're getting paid for a big project. Create a coloring book.
Oh my gosh.
Put everything else you normally do for the company on hold.
What?
You're creating a coloring book.
Amazing.
Please
Fantastic.
give that to me as a job.
Yeah.
Side
really.
note.
Nobody colors anymore.
I just said I had a collection of
Yeah.
coloring books. Most of them Harry Potter, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
If you guys have an adult, creepy people, if you have an adult's coloring book, write in. Tell us.
I have an iPad
Oh,
and an
yeah.
Apple Pencil. That's what I have.
Listen, Sierra, this was a simpler time.
That's right.
He was inspired by his daughter's love of the deer at Lincoln Park Zoo when he visited the year before. Robert invented the main character based on this experience, a little reindeer. This is partially why I didn't know reindeer were real. Again, go listen to Caitlin and Cassie's story on our feed for more on that. A little reindeer with a shiny nose. He was hoping that the story would bring comfort to his daughter who had just lost her mother. He also thought that this creature might be some sort of symbol for himself and Barbara, that happier times lay ahead, and to just keep following the light. Making a reindeer also added a wintry spin, in his opinion, making it perfect for the holidays. He was right. When Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, as it would be titled, came out in Christmas of 1939, it was a huge success. Montgomery Ward gave out 2.4 million copies overall and stopped printing it only because of the wartime restrictions on paper use.
Wait a minute.
Dang.
This guy's entire job was to create a coloring book, and then they didn't even sell it. They gave it away.
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning. They gave away coloring books every year, so this year they invented it.
This is the coolest job. There's not even any pressure. It's okay if nobody likes it. We're going to give it to him anyway.
Oh Oh my god.
If anyone is hiring strategizing coloring books, Sierra is looking for a new job.
Yeah.
Actually, all of us are. If we could create a Creepy People and Twisted Humans coloring book,
Yes.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Someone pay us, and then we're
I
going to
love
give them
that.
away for free. That's how the
Yeah.
job works.
Yeah, we still need a
Yeah.
salary for our time. It's not a lot to be asked, okay? It's going to
Of
be
course.
a success. We know it.
Yeah. A girl's gotta eat though. You know?
Literally. We're not going to go and eat a hard-boiled egg from our pocket.
We're not going to starve ourselves while our millions are locked away in the cupboard.
Exactly. Somebody out there is in. We know it. But so yeah, they gave out 2.4 million copies, and they only stopped printing it when wartime restrictions on paper use were put into place. When they were allowed to resume printing in 1946, it was even more popular than before.
Vintage.
Robert May never received anything for other than his regular salary for the story, but that all changed in 1947. The head of Montgomery Ward gave all of the rights for Rudolph to the copywriter, Robert. It was the first time that the company had ever done so, but the need had never come up because no other book that they had ever released had ever been this successful. They also had never had one of their own, like somebody working for the company, doing the Christmas story.
Makes sense.
And in the spirit of the holiday,
After the year that Robert had, he deserved it, and it was just the beginning of his successes. The Rudolph story would soon reach the whole world when songwriter Johnny Marks married Robert's sister Margaret in 1947.
oh,
I love love.
Johnny had been writing music since he was 13 years old. He first came across the story of Rudolph when the coloring book came out in 1939. He was inspired by the art and the story of Rudolph, and began writing lyrics here and there in a little notebook. The year after he married into the May family, he began adding music to his lyrics, and quickly realized that he had a hit on his hands.
do you think he only married in because he wanted to be able to do this? Like,
He saw the coloring
need
book
to
and he was
marry
like,
you
shit.
because I really love Rudolph. Okay, really do.
He asked an artist named Gene Autry to record it.
Ooh.
The song would be the second biggest Christmas song of all time, coming in behind White Christmas. And we hope that you guys and your creepy people enjoyed learning about some Classmas Christmas stories and characters. We wanted to keep this a little more lighthearted, as we know that this can be a tough time of the year for some, and not all of us can find a wonderful old-timey Christmas case, as again, you gotta go check it out on our page for them. And we were inspired to try and do a Christmas ghost story, knowing that you guys were going to do something true crimey, and that's how the notes on telling ghost stories during the holidays came into play. So
I love
we
that.
had to cover it on all bases.
Yeah.
That was perfect. I loved it. I
Absolutely.
didn't really know any of that. So
Oh, I'm
Me
so
either.
happy.
It's like
Sierra
an hour-long
hadn't-
fun fact.
Yeah, it
it
is.
is.
Basically.
I
Like
love
we said,
it.
we like fun facts, we like history, we like all of the twisted topics. So
Yep.
Yeah,
right up our alley.
definitely.
take it away, guys. That's all we got.
Yeah, thank you for having us on
Yes.
your podcast feed. We hope
Yeah.
your listeners will come over to our feed to hear your story.
Yes.
And
Yes.
vice versa. And eventually our OnlyFans.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
I'm joking.
We'll link that too.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and set that up for you guys. It'll be ready any day now.
Yeah.
It's just going to be cryptids walking around naked. So
Oh, my
Oh,
God,
yeah. Love that.
Ghost pants. Have a
creepy ass
holiday.
So, for all of you that are listening, if you have any true crime or paranormal stories that you want us to share, maybe with the whole Pacific Northwest.
Yes, we would love to read them on the pod.
Yes, we will read them out loud.
Not just in our heads.
Yes. They don't have to be from the Pacific Northwest if you would like to share. Email us at pnwhauntsandhomicides@gmail.com. It's all spelled out, no special characters. Super duper easy peasy.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Same thing as the email at PNW Haunts and Homicides, all spelled out, no special characters. Please also rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening to, and check out our stories on social media because our meme game is hot.
Agreed.
And if you agree, like Caitlin, you can also find us on Patreon and support the show.
Bitchin'.